Okay, so I would like to ask the question, what has love got to do with it? Now, I'm sure that there's many people out there who know of individuals, or you may have been hurt by your nearest and dearest, and you've just shut yourself down, believing if the people who are supposed to love and protect me can hurt me like this, it's no way I'm opening myself up to love anymore. So you've just shut yourself down. But if we haven't got love in our life, what do we have? All we are doing then is just merely existing. We're not even living. But I would like to show you how powerful love is. And I was reminded of this just a couple of weeks ago. I recently went to a party and I met with one of my old flames, and it was really lovely meeting up with him. And we just caught up on old times, just reminiscing. And he asked me a question in closing saying, Carol, how's your love life? And I went, fiasco. And I just let him know what was going on. So he said, but Carol, no one can pull the wool over your eye. And the reason why he was saying that is about 7 years ago when we were together, I caught him in a lie. We'd only been seeing each other a few months, and a niggling feeling I had would not go away. So I decided to end the relationship. Now, he couldn't believe what I was doing, and so he wouldn't let go. And he was asking the question, Carol, who are you going to find who's going to treat you as good as I am treating you? And don't you know that God has sent me for you? And where are you going to find another guy that's going to, just treat you and look after you how I'm looking after you? And even my girlfriends were actually saying, my colleagues were saying, Carol, if you're looking like that and you're not having sex, what are you going to look like when you're having sex? I went, I know, because I was just absolutely glowing. But that niggling feeling would not go away. So I remember turning up one Sunday to a party after we had had a long conversation on the Wednesday. And who was there? He was there with his girlfriend of 9 months. So yes, I had a lucky escape. But you see, my life was not always like that. And I remember one particular year, that year was so dark. I went through so many emotions, grief, embarrassment, feeling devalued, that I didn't know whether I was coming or going. And everything that could be shaken, everything I felt that couldn't be moved, my loved ones just got shaken. I remember the first thing, it was my big birthday, and in our family, all the siblings got together and we put money together to just buy presents so we could enjoy that day. And only one of my siblings remembered. And I felt so devalued, and I thought, am I not loved? Am I not important? My neighbour, there was an escalating feud where they were, just bullying and harassing me until it got to the point where they were just dragging me through the courts. I remember my impending wedding. I had to go to that place where I had to retract my invitations because it was no longer going ahead. And then just 3 weeks after that, my father died. My daughter was going on with her life and left home because I wanted her to follow her career. And one of my nearest and dearest, who we were like that, nothing could get in between us, began ill-treating my child. God, my heart just got ripped. And I just needed some comfort. I went to my friend who had helped me build me up and encouraged me to be the person that I was. And when I was in my most vulnerable state, what did he do? Just use and abuse me and just drop me as if I was nothing. I wanted to go to a place of refuge, my church, but I couldn't. It was like an arms house. I didn't know what was coming from one Sunday to the next. Sometimes I rocked up and the police there trying to prevent the breach of the peace. How could I take all my troubles and put that on my pastor when they were dragging him through the mud as well? I had no one to trust. No one to trust whatsoever. And I remember him saying to me, Carol, do not take that medication. He said he looked at my heart and he could see that I was getting to stone, and he didn't want it to turn into bitterness. So I remember just shut my door and I just cried. One day turned into weeks, which turned into months. And when I couldn't soak my pillows anymore with tears, I just kind of gave up and I said, why? Why? And the answer just came to me is that you did not know your true identity. And you see, that is why I'm here, because I had to get to the place where I knew who I was. You see, I had to get to the place of healing. I had to get to the place where I knew my value, I knew my worth, that I was one of a kind and I was unique, to learn the power that I possess, but then I wouldn't use it to manipulate or to abuse anyone. I had to learn how to make sure that I stayed within my boundaries, and they were the things that were going to protect me. And no longer was I looking to be validated from the outside in living out the soulish realm about things that made me feel good and how I wanted to look and working towards other people's dreams, but know what I want, working from the inside out, having control of me. So how did I get to the place then that now I could embrace this ex-partner of mine? You see, I had a lot of knowledge. You see, knowledge gives you power, but what I didn't have was understanding. And it's in that understanding that my love was going to be manifested. So I had to get back to that place where I was in a good place. So I asked for a meeting and I sat down and I said to him, there's two things that I need to say. One, I apologize for the profanity that I used, because yes, in that moment when I was with him and I found out they'd been pursuing me, and then he had this relationship for 9 months, all this anger just came up and this profanity. But I recognized that it was not about him, it was about all the hurt I'd experienced those years ago, but I'd not been able to vent it because there were so many things happening, one after the other after the other. So here it was, being just leveled at this person. And the second thing I said to him was this: I forgive you for what you tried to do to me. Now, if the ground could have opened up and swallowed him up, he would have wanted that too. And then I had the privilege 2 years later after that to have a 2 hours meeting with him where all the questions were out on the table and I was getting answers for it. And I had to take responsibility for where I went wrong as well. I was never condoning his behaviour, but what I had done is compromise on some of my values and also my non-negotiables. I went against my non-negotiables. I didn't stick to them. So what does love have to do with it? Love has everything to do with it. It is so protective. It put firm boundaries in place. But whether you want to call it unconditional love, charity, kingdom love, it's the foundation, it's the rock of every other love that sits on top of that. And there's no return on this investment because I am love. I'm the person that I'm showing you who I am. It gives you standards and it gives you a value before the relationship, during the relationship, and after the relationship. Doesn't matter if you're male or female, whether you're single, married, separated or divorced. Love is universal. So yes, that's what love is all about. It's protective. So I'm hoping that you've enjoyed this story that I've shared with you today. I would like you to join up on my channel. So the videos that I post later on, that you'll have access to that. And let us go on this journey together and let us learn, because I don't want anyone to give up on love, because without love, all we are doing is just existing. Thank you.